Today we're making our versions of takeaway classics. First up is this Mexican-inspired pizza that's super easy to make and tastes amazing.
Okay, so I'm absolutely crap at making bread, so I'm going to take a back seat and let the man do the work.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is make the dough for our pizza, the dough pizza base. Now a lot of people think that, you're going to need some scales, you're going to measure all this out, and it's going to, you need semolina flour or strong white bread flour. All of that, I'm going to show you that you can do it without semolina, you can do it without scales, because I'm going to do it without measuring anything out. So what we've got is 4 ingredients. We've got flour, yeast, sugar, and then some lukewarm water. It needs to be lukewarm, not really hot, about, that sort of temperature where you can put your finger in it.
You see, this would already stress me out because I'm one of those, need scales, especially if it's bread. I think scales, I need to know exactly the right amounts.
This is my manly way of making it.
Okay.
So what I've got is some fast action dried yeast, which you can pick up in the supermarket. So for what I'm doing, I'm going to do probably 2 pizzas with this. So I'm just going to use 1 sachet, but if you double it, you'd use 2. So the sachet of yeast goes into the lukewarm water.
That's fast action.
Fast action dried yeast. And then a bit of sugar, because the yeast needs to eat.
Measure out a decent amount of flour into a bowl. Then gradually add the yeast mixture.
And just work it about.
I like that bit.
Yeah, just work it about, and work all that water in, a bit aggressive with it. And I'm going to use a bit more of that yeast and water. I think I've got this pretty much good on the measuring. But if it's, if it's too wet, add more flour. If it's too dry, add more water. That's how we're going to do it.
Place the dough back in the bowl and cover with cling film or a tea towel. Place it somewhere warm and leave it for 45 minutes to rise.
So while we're waiting for the dough to rise, we're going to make the pizza sauce, which we'll then put everything else on top of. Now, today we're going to do something a bit different.
This isn't any ordinary pizza sauce.
No, it's not at all. Because what we're going to do is we're going to make it Mexican themed. This whole pizza is going to be Mexican themed. You don't have to do this if you don't want to do this. Just leave out all the spices and the kidney beans. Because what I'm going to do, essentially, you want to make the sauce which you would make for a chili con carne, but without any of the meat. Yeah. So what we're going to do is just get a clove of garlic and chop it up nice and fine, and then fry it, and that's going to give the oil a nice flavour. So, do you want to start heating a pan up, and I'll quickly chop this up.
I think it's fun to kind of play with pizzas because a pizza's great, but if you want to do I've even tried doing a little an Indian one with a kind of like pink sauce from that. Or
yeah, you could use a curry powder
one.
or garam masala, like spices instead of using the ones that we're using.
Not to say there's nothing wrong with your simple Italian.
No. The Italian one's great, as is, but I thought we'd do something a bit interesting and fun. Because we like fun.
Look, we're on the edge!
We love fun and edgy pizzas with Mexican themes and spices.
Straight in.
You can go straight in. You got a spoon? You do have a spoon. Okay. So that, again, fry the spices before you put the sauce on, and it's going to make the oil flavoured, and it's going to bring out all the spices.
Fry the paprika, cumin and chilli for a minute. Then add a tin of chopped tomatoes and a tin of kidney beans.
And then the last thing that I'm going to put in is just a cube of beef stock. Because again, if you're making chili con carne, you'd put in some beef stock, but we're not going to dissolve it in any water because, like I said, we don't want it to be runny. So I'm just going to take the beef stock, I'm just going to crumble it straight in like that. It's going to make the sauce much darker and a lot less tomatoey, but
more
just
rich.
really rich.
Leave the sauce to simmer and reduce for 10 minutes. Then it's time to make pizza.
Okay, so our dough is now risen.
Look at that.
And all lovely. So what I'm going to do is just flour my hands up, keep my hands all nice and floury, and also just get some on the surface there as well. That stops the dough from sticking to your hands.
And while you do that, I'm just going to cup up some vegetable croutons for our pizza.
So that dough there will easily make 2 pizzas, so I'm just going to take half of it. And you can freeze dough as well. If you don't use all of it, you
can you?
Yeah.
I would never have thought of that.
Again, haven't measured any of this out, so I'm not going to use any crazy utensils like a rolling pin to make it. I'm just going to use my hands.
Crazy utensils like a rolling pin.
Do you have a rolling pin?
No. Actually, yes, I do, but I wouldn't call it a crazy utensil.
Crazy.
That's more like a spatula.
So I'm just gonna get this out. And a good technique, if you don't have your rolling pin, use your forearm like that, and just do that. Just roll it out into the corners.
Could you sit on it?
If you had a large backside, you could sit on it.
Perfect.
Place the pizza base on a preheated baking tray with a layer of foil and some oil. We've used a pizza stone as an alternative.
And just pinch the sides up a bit just to make the crust, just to give it something, a handle, if you're going to go in with your paws, which I definitely will be. Do you eat pizza with a knife and fork, Daisy, one of those?
Do you know what? It depends on my mood.
Yeah?
I like it with my hands, but then I like it with knife and fork as well.
So put a bit of that on. I mean, you don't want to go over the top of this because you can spread it out quite far. So just go bit by bit, just spread it out and get a nice base.
Now it's time to get creative. Cover your pizza with mozzarella and pretty much anything you want.
In the oven. And that's going to take about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. Just keep an eye on it. When it goes nice and crispy and you've got that nice crispy cheese on top, that's when it's done. And then you can take it out. And we'll do that in a second. All right, so let's have some of this.
Cheers.
Oh, it's so spicy.
The beans really give it something different.
They had a kind of, I don't know, just a
Totally different texture. Yeah, I think it's a texture thing. I love that.
It's definitely got a kick to it.
Domino's, eat your heart out.
This sticky chicken Chinese stir fry is sure to fill the spot when you're hungover and broke, but still craving a takeout.
When it comes to takeaway, I'm really not a fan of Chinese. I just think it's always too sweet, everything tastes the same, it makes me feel sick.
Really greasy if you get it from a takeaway as well.
But this, I think I can do.
Yeah.
We're going to do a sticky glazed chicken with a kind of simple stir fry and some noodles. But if you didn't have noodles, you could use rice or just have the chicken and stir fry.
Slice the chicken breast lengthways into 2 halves. Then generously coat in Chinese 5-spice and seasoning.
Now, if I give you these,
Yeah.
can you sauce my breast?
I can sauce your breast, Daisy.
Fabulous.
To make the sauce, mix together a tablespoon of soy sauce with 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce and a tablespoon of honey.
I'm just getting all this ready. Now, we don't have it, but if you wanted to, you could add some toasted sesame seeds and just get some sesame seeds, toast them a little bit, and then add them on afterwards. And it does give it a nice flavour. Or if you're using sesame oil, it will give it the same flavour.
Fry the chicken in a hot pan with some oil until it is cooked through. This will take about 2 minutes.
That 5-spice, like when you fry 5-spice, it just makes it smell great and it makes it taste absolutely amazing. So,
I wish you could get smell through camera.
smell-o-vision. Yeah, smell-o-vision.
That's what we need. So what I've done here is I've just put my slightly thinner slice on top of my fatter slice because the thinner one's going to be done.
Yeah.
I don't want to take it out of the pan, I want it to stay warm, and obviously the fatter one's going to just be cooking through.
Right, do you want the sauce now?
Yep.
Yeah? So,
Yep.
that goes on there like that.
Oh my goodness. Look at
And
that.
because it's so hot, that honey and that barbecue sauce are going to caramelise, and that's what's going to make it so sticky, and that's going to make it like just hold together. And also, if you've got those sesame seeds and they coat it on the outside and it looks great, it just makes it taste so good.
After a minute, remove the chicken breast from the pan and set to one side. Now quickly make the stir-fry veg. Heat oil in a wok until it smokes, then fry garlic and chilli in the pan before quickly adding all the vegetables. Mix together some soy sauce and honey for a quick sauce.
Why is it that you use a wok for a stir fry? What do woks actually do?
Because when, like, if you're cooking it properly, or like if you go to a proper authentic Chinese place, they won't use a spoon, they'll just do that. And you can't do that in the frying pan with vegetables because they'll just go everywhere. So yeah, give it a bit of that action. There you go, a bit of wrist action there, Daisy. And whack it about with your arms.
Once the veg is cooked, pour over the sauce and fry for a further minute.
That's just our noodles. I'm just going to drizzle a bit of soy sauce on it. You may think I'm using too much soy sauce, but I'm not, because it's awesome. There you go, that is our homemade, extremely cheap Chinese takeaway. Let me try. Ah, so good. Like the chicken, like with that soy sauce and honey and the barbecue sauce. Oh, and the Chinese, the 5 spice. That's what gives it the Chinese taste. Guys, do you want to have a bit of this?
No.
You know?